Okay, so in this lecture, we're going to be talking about sex-linked traits and kind of how they work. And you can see here, this is what's called the karyotype. So they've taken the actual chromosomes, the actual condensed chromosomes of some female and some male, excuse me, and done what's called the karyotype. And they've taken them, and you can literally see these are what the chromosomes look like. And I want you to note here that this male Y chromosome is very, very small. And that fact is going to become important later on because, as we will see, the Y chromosome sometimes does not have the ability to compensate for something that might be on the X chromosome. So like I said, this is going to become important in just a moment. So I'm going to kind of focus on color blindness. It is a common sex-linked recessive trait. And by the way, if you're looking at this and you can't see that there is a 15 right here, you may be colorblind. So the easiest way to kind of conceptualize or think about this thing to me is to use a Punnett square like we've done in lab a few times. So we'll start with mom, and you can see here she is a carrier. She has color vision because she has this big B, but she is carrying around this recessive allele. She's carrying around this colorblind allele here. But again, she can see because she has this big B on her other X chromosome to compensate. So let's get dad in here. This is the male half, and you can see he has a big B, so he has the ability to see in color. And again, color blindness or color vision is dominant. So if you have one big B, you're good to go. He has one big B, and then the Y chromosome doesn't have any B genes on it because, again, it's that tiny, puny little thing. So let's start looking at the crosses. If they have this daughter, because females are in humans are referred to as homogametic. It's not a term you need to know, but they are homogametic. They have two X chromosomes. And this is a normal-sided daughter. She's not a carrier of color blindness. She can just see full color vision. Let's look at their next offspring. This is another daughter. She has color vision, but much like her mom, she is a colorblind carrier. So she's carrying this gene around, but she can see just fine. Their next offspring is a male, and he can see color. He just has this big B. And again, there's nothing on the Y chromosome to compensate or do anything differently. He just has this big B. And if we look at their final boy, their final child, he is colorblind. He has a little B here, and that puny little Y chromosome cannot compensate for the fact that he has a little B. All right, and so kind of hand in hand with this, you can figure out the various proportions of the offspring that they've had. So I put my handy dandy chart up here. So how many of their kids have normal vision? So 1, this girl has normal vision. 2, this girl has normal vision. 3, this boy has normal vision. So 3 out of 4 have normal vision. This kid here has color blindness. So 3 out of 4, that proportion is 75%. All right, you can count those up. 3 out of 4, easy peasy. 75% have normal vision. So the only one that is colorblind is this male down here. He's got the little B. And so that's 1 out of 4 of their children will be colorblind, or 25%. All right, so 25% are colorblind. Now we are going to look at people like the original parent up here. We're looking at all of their offspring who have normal vision, but are indeed carriers of the small b colorblind allele. And that is 25%. It's just her. This is the only one in this cross that has normal vision, but who is also a carrier. Okay, and so this is the way that these crosses work, or that's the way that these sex-linked recessive traits work. So let's take this information, let's take this Punnett square here, and we'll just put an extra one over here because I want to show you how it is possible for a female to wind up with color blindness. So let's imagine, so let's just take this kid here. Let's imagine he grows up and he's going to have some kids. So he's got X little b here, he's got his Y chromosome here, and he meets a girl who happens to be a carrier. So she happens to be a carrier for the colorblind gene. We'll see what their offspring look like. All right, so you can see here, here we've got the, one of their daughters is a carrier with normal vision, and one of their daughters is colorblind. So the circumstances for a daughter being colorblind, obviously they're much more rare. You have to have a colorblind dad, and you have to have a mom who is the carrier of the colorblind gene in order for that to happen. They have a son here who has normal vision, and they also have a son here who is colorblind.